I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of this newsletter is going to be successful seduction techniques. Got an email here from a viewer on YouTube, and he says, "Hi, Coach Corey Wayne. First of all, I read your ebook and watched all of your videos. You've done a very great job, and I appreciate the fact you did it without any cost. You're the man. Secondly, I read the book Revelation from the Pickup Artist Mystery. That book is a step-by-step approach to women that leads to sex and relationship after attraction, comfort, and seduction. I'm kind of mind-fucked because there are some different things between both your book and his, and I wanted to know your opinion. So help me with these things if you can." He says, number one, Mystery says that on your approach to a group of girls, you should lead the conversation by talking more than 75% of the time by demonstrating DHV, which stands for demonstrating higher value. That's the thing with Mystery. They've got all kinds of different acronyms and things for the way they go about teaching the seduction process. And he says, and also giving IOIs, which is indicator of interest, and IOD, indicators of disinterest, compliance tests, etc. But you said that to lead a conversation, you should talk 25% of the time and let the girl talk 75% of the time to show fascination. Help me out. Okay, here's the deal. If you want to create rapport with another human being, if you want to communicate that you're interested in them, then you're going to ask questions about who they are, where they grew up, what they like to do, crazy things that they're into. You're going to want to get to know that person just because you're fascinated by them. And human beings naturally, think about it. If someone's asking you about you, they're asking you what you do for a living, where you grew up, what kinds of things you do for fun, and then you start telling them and they're fascinated by it and they want to know more, how does that make you feel? Well, it makes you feel like, wow, this person really cares about me, like somebody that I know or that I'm comfortable with, because those are the kind of things that a friend would ask, or someone that cares about you, or that a relative or someone that's very close to you would ask. They want to, I mean, think about it. What are the things you say when you run into a friend of yours you haven't seen in a while? Hey man, how you been up to? How's work going? How's this going? And you find out what's going on. You say, oh, I just got this great new job. It's really fucking awesome. Like, no, really cool. Tell me about it. And they'll be excited for you because they care about you. And the biggest thing that guys struggle with, especially as they're trying to improve their communication skills, is they're always so focused on, what do I say, what do I say, what do I say, what do I say? Well, it's just natural human nature to create rapport with another person when you're asking them questions. It's like if you're in a presentation and you're sitting down trying to get a job from somebody and you look around the room and you start asking about their diplomas or the pictures on their desk about their family. You'll notice that automatically people love to talk about themselves and they love to talk about the things that they're into. And that's going to naturally create rapport, and plus it takes all the pressure off you having to worry about what to say. Now what Mystery talks about in his books is they teach a lot of routines and funny stories and things to basically communicate that you're a dominant male and demonstrating higher value by having fun, exciting things to talk about and leading the conversation. But my background is in sales, and I learned in sales, and because I've sold thousands of people over my lifetime in sales and real estate, selling them mortgages, especially mortgages where maybe the fees are going to be a little higher than a regular mortgage, you got to get good at creating rapport. And what happens is it totally disarms the other person when you're asking them questions about themselves. Plus, you don't have to worry about what you say. Now, you should follow whatever method is more comfortable for you. But I will tell you this stuff about Mystery stuff is that quite a few people have read it, especially a lot of women have read it. And a lot of guys just go verbatim and memorize the stories, and then they'll go out and they'll start telling these stories. And I've been out with friends and had women come up to me and start talking and chatting, and then they start laughing about the fact that over the course of the last hour, they got approached by 3 different men telling the same exact canned story from one of Mystery's books. Now, I mean, obviously one of the things he says is you should put in your own stories and your own spin on things, but, I mean, at the end of the day, you're basically memorizing stuff and canned material in order to create rapport with another person. I'm lazy. I like the path of least resistance. And by sitting back, hanging back, asking questions, because I've tended to be, especially like when I was younger, I was a more shy and a more introverted kind of person. And people always just opened up to me. They liked to talk to me. I never felt like I had to dominate the conversation. But from my sales background, whoever is asking the questions, that's the person that's in control of the conversation, because you can ask opinions of, especially like when it comes to dating or relationships, or get a girl's opinion. And that's one of the things that Mystery also says, and Neil Strauss and some of those other guys, is opinion openers are great ways to get women talking. And because if you're leading the conversation to where you want it to go, if you want to talk about sex or relationships or whatever, you can do that. And so, I mean, it's totally up to you. But to me, it's very easy to ask people questions. And since I've been in sales my whole life, it's something that comes very natural. Me trying to come out, I've always been the kind of guy that's always had a hard time remembering good jokes. And so in order for me to do something like that, to memorize a story or something that I'm going to tell, I'm only going to tell stuff that's genuine, that's sincere, that's authentic. I can't fake it, and I won't fake it at this point in my life. Now, if that's something that you want to learn colorful anecdotes and stuff that he tells, then by all means, go for it. What I teach is I give you a lot of different strategies and tools to use in order to go at your own pace and do things that you feel comfortable with. I wrote an article a while ago called 3 Ways to Seduce Women. And I talk about low-risk ways to seduce women. I talk about high-risk ways to seduce women, which is going up, talking to women, creating rapport, asking for dates on the spot. And for a lot of guys that are just starting out, that just fucking terrifies them to do. And also the lazy way, how you can go out with your buddies and have a good time, and by emanating the proper body language and physiology and focusing on a few key disciplines when you're out, women will actually come up and talk to you. So you don't even have to go around the bar trying to talk to women, because you get perceived just like the captain of the football team. Did you see the captain of the football team at school going up and talking to women? No, he's out hanging out, holding court, because everybody, guys and girls, are coming up to him, wanting to talk to him, listen to him, his stories, listen to him about the game, or just hear what he's up to. And they're always going to be asking him questions. Why would they be asking him questions? Because they're interested. And that should tell you about something. So if you want to be perceived like the captain of the football team, which is the stuff that I teach, then follow the things that I teach. If you like the stuff that Mystery teaches, then use his stuff by all means. It's just another way, it's another method. And you can be just as successful with, you got to do what's natural. And if you want to be the most successful you can be, you got to do what's natural and feels comfortable for you. And so he says, his second question here is, Mystery says that when you ask the girl's number, you should say it like, hey, let's go to dinner for something in a couple of days, and then you get the number. And he says that you can call her on the same night for a little chat, and you should call her the next day or the other one. But you said to call a girl only a couple of days later to establish some anticipation and mystery. Now, this is one of the techniques that's in my book that's a low-risk way, because a lot of guys that are starting out, they can't tell women. They can't read whether a girl's really interested or not. And so, I mean, I'm at the point in my life where I make a date right on the spot when I meet a girl. A definite date, definite time, and a definite place. And I've always found that it's much better to use the phone for one thing only, and that's setting dates. When you start chit-chatting with girls and texting back and forth, I mean, I'm busy as hell, and I don't have time for all that bullshit. I am direct. I get right to the point. And here's the deal. If you wait 2 or 3 days to call a girl, and you're unsure if she's really into you or not, and then you call her, say, after 3 days, and you say, hey, Stephanie, this is Corey. How are you? And you don't volunteer your last name. You don't tell her where you met her. And you just wait. And as soon as you say, hey, Stephanie, this is Corey. How are you? She's going to do one or two things. She's going to go, oh, hey, how are you? I was wondering when you were going to call. I thought maybe you lost my number or something. That communicates that she remembers you and she's interested. But if she says, Corey, where do I know you from? I mean, think about it. You've been thinking about this girl constantly since the moment you met her. And then you call her 3 days later, and she doesn't remember your name. What does that tell you about her level of attraction and interest in you? It's not very high. You didn't make a really good impression. Those are little low-risk ways that you can make sure, especially if you're going to go out on a date, meet a girl out for drinks, or maybe even take her out to dinner, that you're going out with somebody who's really into you, so you don't end up wasting your time and money on drinks or dinner or appetizers or whatever. And then you go for the kiss and the girl gives you the cheek because she really wasn't interested in you. By using the low-risk techniques I talk about in the beginning of my book, you can learn to gauge a woman's level of attraction for you, because women either meet their minimum standards. In other words, on a scale of 1 to 10, you're either at least a 5 or better, or you're not. And if they don't perceive you as at least a 5, you ain't got a shot with them. Doesn't matter how good looking you think you are, or most women perceive you as being. I mean, attraction's not a choice. They either feel it for you, you either meet their minimum standards, or you don't. And so the idea is that you want to spend your time going out with women who really like you to start out with. Now, a woman that's, say, on a scale of 1 to 10 thinks of you as a 7 or an 8, and she feels that way towards you, when you go out on a date with a girl like that, she's going to be excited to see you. She's going to work to keep the conversation going, and it's going to be very easy. And I'm all about having things be effortless on your dates. And so the more a girl likes you to start out with, the easier it's going to be when you go out on a date to get her in bed, to seduce her, to get her to fall in love with you. But to lower her level of attraction, the harder you're going to have to work and keep the conversation going, or telling stories, or getting her to talk, because she just won't really, when she gives you an answer, when you ask her a question, she'll give you like 1 or 2 word answers, and she won't really try that hard, just because she really doesn't give a shit about seeking your approval or getting you to like her. I mean, it's totally up to you, but I like things to be easy. I'm all about the path of least resistance. And the third question he says, Mystery says that you can invite a girl to go to the mall or to chill with your friends, and I'm not sure about that. You said it's better to invite a girl for only girlfriend things like dinner or going to meet out for drinks for a bar. And here's the deal. When you go out with women in a group, especially your friends, unless your friends are really good with women, there's a good chance that they're going to cock block you or say something that's going to fuck it up. And the whole idea behind the seduction process is you want to get closer and closer to a woman until you eventually end up inside of her. And if you got all your friends hanging around and say one of them drinks too much, I mean, they can totally fuck it up for you. Or you go someplace where she knows a lot of people, and then those people are constantly coming up to you, and it makes it really hard to create rapport when you're constantly getting interrupted by other people. And 9 times out of 10, what I found is it always works better when you get a girl alone, you go to dinner, you have drinks with her. It's a lot easier to say, hey, let's go back to my place, as opposed to you got friends that you came with or that she came with, and then it creates another obstacle or another thing to get in the way of the seduction process. But at the end of the day, you got to do what feels most comfortable and what feels most natural for you, because the more comfortable you can be when you're trying to seduce a woman, the more natural you can feel in your own skin, the easier it's going to be and the more effortless it's going to be. But the more things you try to memorize or stories you try to memorize or trying to go through routines and all these things, the harder it's going to be, because you're doing things that are not really natural to you. So if you have a question you want to ask me, or there's a topic you want me to cover in a future video newsletter, go to my website, click the Contact Me tab, which is going to be on the left-hand side of your screen. Send me 1 to 2 paragraphs max detailing your questions, your situation, and your challenges. And you just got to give me several days to get back to you with a response, because I get a lot of email from the internet, and I also get a lot of it from my paying phone coaching customers. But be patient, and I will get back to you. And if you want to talk to me right away, the quickest way to get my help is to book a paid phone coaching session. And you can do that by going to my website, click the Products tab, which is going to be at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. If you want to get a digital version of my Kindle ebook, which I highly recommend, go to my website, and underneath the email sign-up box will be a link that will take you to the Amazon Kindle download page for my book. Once you get to the download page, on the right-hand side, there's a button you can click, and it will open up a window where you can download a free e-reader app for your Android device, your iPhone, iPad, Mac, PC, whatever device you want to read it on. Only takes a matter of seconds to download and install the app. And after that, only a few more seconds to complete the purchase of my book, and you'll be reading it in no time. And I will talk to you soon.